What's up, Chiefs? Happy Friday to you. Good to be here with you for another live Chief Chat. We're going to have a good time today. I'm going to cover some of the top posts of the week, a little preview of the weekly roundup, if you will, and we're going to bring on Jason Aloya into the hot seat today. We're going to go over his 60-second sales hook for his breast milk multiplying herb supplement. So hot topic here today. Thanks for doing that, Jason, signing up for the hot seat. If you would like to come on and have a hot seat with me during the Chief Chat, I will post the link that is in the forum. You'll see the new sticky post in the general discussion section called Chief Chat or Hot Seat Fridays, something like that. And then link in there to get on my calendar. We'll do one per week and they'll fill up fast. So grab that calendar. If you think you got something you'd love to run past me and hot seat, it's not, don't let the word hot seat intimidate you. I just don't think there's a better term for it. Just means that you'll come on and jam with me and we'll solve your sticking points in your copy or your offer or whatever's going on in your business. You get me for about 15 minutes free and clear. So, hopefully you'll take advantage of that and sign up for the hot seats right here on Fridays. Want to see who's in the room today, who's in the house. What's up? My man Ross is here. Vonnie, how are you? Jason is here, ready to go. Tanya, hey, good to see you. Hi, Wardy. Wardy's with us today. Always great to see you. Marcelo, how you doing, pal? Ron Kroc is here. How you doing, Ron? Carl is in the house. What's up, Wendy? And Dean Green, the fighting machine, is here in the house. Or is that Dean Edelson? One of our deans are here with us. I'll tell you right now. Aha, that is Dean Edelson. What's up, Dean? My man, my fellow former comic and now smooth-headed brother in copy. So welcome, and it's great to have you guys here as always. Couple of posts I want to cover with you. Man, it was a hot week as far as just like really deep discussion. Love how we're going deep on some stuff. Wish Carolyn was here because Carolyn is a big part of some of the great discussions going on inside of Copy Chief today. Maybe she'll pop in if she gets a chance. But two threads in particular started by Carolyn that I have a smooth head too when he says, yeah, that I really want to cover here. So let me hop over to the thread, to the forum, and let's look into some of the hottest threads going this week. Let me present to everyone here. Everybody should be able to see my screen. This, by the way, is my little private spyglass into what's the most engaged content here in Copy Chief. So let's look at this together. There's no reason you guys shouldn't know this too. Number one is Bullet the Podcast. Oh, we're going to cover that too. Man, some great entries. You guys are making it brutal to choose winners for Bullet the Podcast. Love to see everybody flexing those bullet writing muscles. Carolyn's post about a prospect. This was a cool, real-time case study on somebody wanting Carolyn to do free work for her and, you know, her resistance about it. Dan and Barry and Angie and Wendy and some others chimed in and gave her some great direction on how to handle that. She followed her instinct and some advice from Barry, and turns out certainly seems like her instincts were right. We'll go over some of that. Travis's book title survey, always really interesting with book titles to try to figure out what's going to, you know, hit the spot. I think the best way ultimately is to come up with a list of about 3 that you feel good with. Of course, to get a list of 3, you need to start with like, 100 or at least 30. Take the best 10% and then run those by a Facebook, some inexpensive Facebook testing. I know that's how Perry Marshall chose some recent book titles and other people too. This thread that I just am now catching up on, I posted up this video that one of my subscribers from Germany sent over from a furniture store or supermarket, and it was very emotional. He said it went immediately viral over there in Germany. Everybody's talking about it on the streets. And then Carolyn added a bunch of great other videos to it. One I just watched, this is incredibly emotional about the Syrian conflict, and just a really intelligent way to bring it home for people, to try to bridge that gap of relatability that people in more comfortable places in the world, who are often in the best position to help the situation, just it's off their radar. It's not something they're seeing the immediate effects of, and so it doesn't get the attention. They don't realize the simple ways that they could maybe help in a thing like that seems just so confusing and daunting to overcome. And then Don Lovato's post here, he asked for a review request on an email idea he had, which was really off the mark. Don won't mind me saying that, because he was the first to admit when that was pointed out to him that was his instinct, and part of the reason he posted it up here. And again, just goes to show that you don't have to have like some major project going or thing. If you want feedback, it's always valuable for all of us to be able to weigh in and kind of see what people are doing and thinking, whether it's really good and needs very little feedback, or in a case like Don's, where he had an instinct that he was off the mark, and he certainly was. But I tried to point out to him that the story he had in mind wasn't too far off the mark, just the way he was sort of selling the story to, a predominantly female fitness list, in talking about, Teslas and Ferraris and BMWs and these high performance sports cars that I think most women on that list just wouldn't be as interested in. So, so some great stuff there. So these are by reply count, and these are by view count, and you can see it's a lot of the same stuff there. So let's go. Let's see. Great storytelling. I think you'll just kind of have to go through this one. I won't spend too much time on this one, but this is the original video. Really, one of those ads that you watch it and you go, man, this is so true. And I don't know if you guys have ever like fantasized about, being at your own funeral. I think everybody kind of naturally has that fantasy. What would it be like? What would people talk about? Certainly when you go to other people's funerals, you think about what yours might look like, how many people would be there, what would they be saying? This is it. This is your life in a nutshell. What's the vibe at the funeral? I've been to some funerals in receptions following funerals where it's tremendously sad, of course, to lose somebody, but the spirit, of the event says a lot about how the person lived. Sometimes you look around and you see people laughing and telling stories, and it feels more like a wedding reception or something for a while, even though, of course, you'll see tears and different things. But to me, that's what I want to envision when I think about, my funerals. Like, I want a lot of people sitting around laughing their heads off. I want to see comics coming together who haven't seen each other in years, old friendships rekindling, people from my marketing life meeting people from my family and my comedy life. And, what could be greater than having all of your lives merge like that? It'd be nice if it didn't have to happen at a funeral, but it's, probably most realistically, unless other than a wedding, how it would happen. And this commercial does an amazing job of, taking an event like tragic death of someone you love, and allowing people to have the moment without the reality of it. And it's one of those ads that just makes you instantly do some recalibrating and say, who is it I need to pick up the phone and call right now? So that's powerful. And then Carolyn posted this one a second a day video about this girl's life over a year or so, where she becomes a refugee. Incredibly powerful. And she even reached out and was able to have a back and forth with the producer of this this ad, Richard Beer. So, hey, Tanya, how you doing? Welcome. So that's a great thread. I would definitely go dive in. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of these videos. Video is everything going forward. Every time I land on somebody's site now and don't see video, I think this is weird. I don't know about you guys. You guys get that when you land on somebody's page and there's no video? It just feels strange because, it's optional. People aren't forced to watch a video. It shouldn't be the only thing on your page. But there's some pages that I think that are like incredibly dialed in their messaging. In fact, I did a podcast interview with a guy this week who I'm really impressed with his site, and he just had it redone, but there's no video. And the guy does a lot of video, but on the homepage, there's none. So that always strikes me as odd. Yeah, it's the first thing I look for too. Is like if I'm really interested in the person or the cause or the product, and I came there for to find out more, give me a video, give me a nice tight 3 minute video and tell me what's up. Give me the layout, the lowdown. That's why what Ross Bowering does with his videos is so important and compelling. So that's the takeaway from this thread. Video is everything moving forward. Let's see. Okay, Jason, we're going to get into your hot seat in just a minute here. And here is the Bullet the Podcast thread. Wow. Just some amazing contributions this time, making it really hard to choose. Barry came back again. I know Barry's been working hard on his bullets. I gave him some feedback last time. Gerald had some awesome bullets. Steven came in later with some bullets. Carolyn, again, last minute entry. Daniel Sanchez, who's a founding member and has, this is his second post. I don't know what woke up Daniel, but he had some great bullets, but and I hate to be such a rules guy, but he just posted too many of them. It's quite possible if he'd have chosen the best 10, he could have possibly won, but it's just unfair to post more than 10 when other people are following the rules. So for that reason, Daniel cannot be the winner. Carl's again, not too many. So we've woken up some members with the bullet contest, which is a great sign. More great bullets. Chris Hope had some great bullets. Who doesn't really consider him as copywriter as much of a, he's got more of a tech background, breaking into copywriting now, but excellent bullets here. And of course, Stephen Carter, the man, just laying down some real heat. But again, I may have to, and again, I hate to be such a rules guy, but because these competitions are getting so heated, I think I need to be more clear about the rules, because it's hard for me not to read the extra ones and be influenced by these when people add them. And I think we're gonna have to make it really strict that you've got to choose 10 bullets and go with those as your entry. Because the truth is, again, Steven could probably win this if I combine some that he considered cutting room floor with some of these, but that's not fair to people who only posted 10, right? So a conundrum, a community leader conundrum for old Kev here. Yeah, so again, we'll have to spread the word, and I'll be more diligent about that next time. Wendy, maybe you can help me with that. Make sure we're clear on the rules, only post 10. Carolyn posted, I love this, at 10:54. The deadline was 11 p.m. Really good bullets, really good bullets. I be honest with you, I still have not made my final decision, but it's very close with a couple of the entries here. So congratulations to everybody who did that. As I love to say, there is no such thing as time wasted writing, ever. Can you ever imagine going, wow, that was a waste of time writing that letter? or you're writing those bullets. Ugh. It'll never happen because it just made you a better writer. We're writers. That's what we love to do. So no such thing as time wasted writing. Writers write, and nobody writes alone. So that's what we're doing here. Be excited to announce the winner of this in a little bit and get those up on the podcast with John, which is a really good episode. Okay, so those are some of the main posts there. All the action going on inside of Copy Chief. One more from Carolyn that you should be aware of. Let's go back to stats. Is the how do you say no when someone wants you to work for free? If you're really anyone, business owner, this is just a great read about how to handle situations like this. It's really interesting to read and see how it unfolded. Carolyn lets us know what she ended up doing, how the guy responded. She basically busted him being less than honest with her Yesware. Do you guys use Yesware? I don't know if it's a Google product, but it usually attaches to a Google account. Really cool tool. I actually turned it off because I was tired of getting all the updates about who was opening emails, but I probably will reinstall it. It's a great way to see who's doing what with your email. She was able to tell that this guy had opened her email several times, and that's really amazing insight. Again, sort of spying on how somebody's responding to your reply. She knows that he opened this a few times, which means either he went back and read it a few times or maybe even shared it with other people. And then, hey, Kev K, what's up, brother? Good to see you. And then ultimately, he left her a message acting as if he did not see her email, which is like, if you ever need a better reason to be happy about not working with somebody, I don't know what it is. Someone who just, clearly lies to you. No way he could not have seen that email. And did you just lie and say that you didn't? Doesn't everybody know that Yesware exists at this point? That's the other thing to know about Yesware. You can no longer lie and say you didn't see somebody's email. They will know if you saw their email or not. Not that you should ever have the instinct to lie, but sometimes I guess it feels like the best answer, but not a thing anymore. No longer allowed to go, oh, didn't see that. Sorry. So, yes, where's the stuff? Okay. What's up, John Belkowitz, my man? Good to see you. Okay. Let's get on to Jason Loya here. Jason, I received your, by the way, here's how it works. You sign up for the hot seat. You go right here. I think I got it sticky. How about that USP training, by the way? Were you guys on the USP training? Wow. Ross just killed it. That's what Ross, that's the business Ross is in, killing it. That's what you should say on your business card, Ross. I kill it. That's what I do. But fantastic training, and we're having a part 2 on Tuesday. Well, we actually haven't announced it yet. It's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. Here it is, Friday already, right? But here's the replay, and yeah. So get into that. We will move this to the bonus training section eventually. Great stuff right there. Okay, Jason. So I'm sorry. Look at me, my ADD kicking in. Sorry about that. So here's where you want to sign up for your hot seats. Right here, new hot seat Fridays. Right here. So if you just want to get on the call like you guys are doing now to claim your hot seat, you go right here. You click this. It brings up my personal calendar, and you'll see that except for the holidays, whenever I plan to have a chief chat, which is most Fridays, barring holidays or me traveling, you can be here in the hot seat, which means you get to have anything you want reviewed. Ask me any question. We'll jam on it. And of course, I'll bring on other chiefs when possible, if it's as relevant. John Belkowitz came on and jammed with us. Was it last week, John? That was a lot of fun. Ross comes on a lot and helps us out, putting his valuable input up for everybody. So Yeah, we're not sure, Wendy, yet. We got to figure that out. Unless you've decided, Ross. We're gonna actually, Ross and I are meeting after this, and I'm sure we'll announce swiftly the exact time of the follow-up training. So, all right, let's jump into it. Jason, let's get you on. Let's get you in the on camera here. And why don't I bring on Ross as well? Since Ross has been, I know, watching your evolution over your USP, even though this is about the 60-second sales hook, not the USP. Jason, what's up, my man?
Can you see me?
How are you, buddy?
Good. Can you see me and hear me?
Make sure I can hear you. I might need to put my headphones on. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I hear you now.
All right.
How are you? Good to meet you.
Too.
Hello, hello, Jason. How are we doing?
What's up, Ross? Nice to see you.
Good to see another Canadian.
Yeah. What's up, eh?
How many Irish Canadians? How many Irish immigrants are in Canada, Ross? You run into them everywhere. I know you've got some family.
Yeah, there's enough, we'll say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a crazy statistic. I went to one of the, I won't diverge too much, but I went to one of the museums here, the McCord, I think it's called, in Montreal, and there's actually an exhibition about Irish immigration. And at one point in Canadian history, in the early 1900s, I think, or early 1800s, 2/3 of the Montreal population was off the boat Irish, like they had immigrated.
No kidding! Wow.
6% of the people here.
Would not have known that. Interesting.
Crazy, yeah.
So it's no mistake that you have family there.
Yeah.
This has been a trend.
A long history of Irish people getting the hell out of Dodge and coming over here. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
What's up, Kevin?
Jason, so good to see you, man. Are you where are you in Canada?
I'm actually in Hawaii.
Oh, you're in Hawaii now. Oh, you're just Canadian. Where were you born? Canadian. In Canada?
Toronto, outside of Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, yeah. Cool. So you live in Hawaii now with your wife and 2 children, yeah? Correct.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so I think it's a really interesting story about how you came back to this niche here. You're Canadian, so you probably say niche, don't you? That's maybe one of the French folks, the French part over there in Ross's neck. But niche, which so yeah, talk about that a minute. I thought that was really interesting that you gave me this rundown in our conversation about it.
Sure. I started January selling some products. I've been growing moringa actually for years with a farm and commercially. And I wanted to sell supplements. I wanted to sell moringa. And I came across Breakthrough Advertising, and I was like, God, he's telling me to niche down, niche down, niche down. So I decided to find one that would work for moringa supplements, and breastfeeding increase was there. And so I went for it, and I got some good traction, and it went real well. But just, I don't know, spaced out or got greedy or something, and decided I'm going to go broader, go for a bigger market. And 6 months later, the market got flooded. I mean, maybe 20 or 30 more companies came in on Amazon, and it's just brutal. And so now I'm seeing, wow, there's so much value in going niche, because if you go big, it's like the lure of more, but it's actually, you're just going to get trumped by the big boys. And
right. Yeah, they're seeing what you're seeing, and plus they're communicating in a different way. They've got these huge budgets to out-ad you, basically. So your power, I always talk about the unfair advantage we have as entrepreneurs is that we can get our message straight out without all the formalities and legal and all that stuff, right? As long as we're saying the right stuff, we can move much faster. So when you went broad, who were you looking to attract then? It was the same supplement, but you thought, let's get beyond breastfeeding.
Moringa. The whole moringa. Anyone interested in moringa should buy mine, and so that's a huge, broad, not niche, not specific, not an ideal customer way. And even starting into Copy Chief, I was thinking I was going to go after the energy market, and then just talking to Ross and Wendy and Cesare and Steven, and just kind of going through my struggles, my discovery and struggles, I'm realizing, I had a really good market before, You know,
Yeah.
that niche I had was real specific, and it's so much easier to talk to that specific. And so I'm just realizing now I got to go back. You know, I had it, and so now it's exciting to have a
Yeah.
focus again and hit it.
Good for you. And how successful was it originally before you got greedy?
Uh, Pretty good. I mean, I was 10 a day. You know, off the gate, getting
You mean
lots
10
of great reviews.
10
you
sales
know.
a day?
Yeah, 10 sales a day, you know, and the reviews and the excitement that was building. I have a Facebook page that I love breastfeeding that was doing well, and you know, it's dried up. You know, I've kind of blown it, so I got to go back and rekindle. And you know,
No pun intended.
yeah,
Okay. Tell me quickly, what is moringa?
it's a plant. It's a tree. It grows a leafy green, and the leafy green that you can powder it, and it's a very unique leafy green because of the way it can preserve in a powdered state. And most leafy greens lose a lot of their value, but moringa is just, for some reason, the structure of it allows it to hold a lot of its nutrients and almost condense it much easier. And so it's a great supplement that way, and it's just got, in a sense, too many benefits, and that's what I've been learning, is trying to go after this. Oh, there's trying to sell to all the people that could use it, the energy people, the people that need to build their blood, alkalizing, energy, all these different avenues, you know, and I was just going after all of them, you know. So it has a lot of benefits. It's got 90 plus nutrients. It's very rich in nutrients and antioxidants, and
Is it sold as a powder?
it's very, that's probably the most way it's sold is
How is it consumed? You just put it in
usually
water?
yeah, usually capsules is a very popular one.
So you
And
don't mix it and drink it. It's more just pop the capsule.
it's a pop. I have a capsule now, but I'm actually going for the drink mix
Okay.
avenue, and that was kind of my initial idea as well. Before the breastfeeding one was to have a energy drink. You know, there's a lot of greens drinks out there that you see in the market, and I was initially going to go after that, but now I'm seeing it that's more competitive. So I'm gonna.
And is moringa indigenous to Hawaii? Is that one advantage?
It grows well in hot, dry climates. So in
Okay.
subtropics, tropics. So India, Philippines, Hawaii, Jamaica, and so that was nice. I initially learned about it from growing it. You know,
Okay.
our neighbors had it, and it's very popular in the Philippines. A lot of Filipinos in Hawaii, so that's how I got introduced to it. Actually, I did discover it in the Philippines. I went to the Philippines, and I was just eating it everywhere. I'm like, what is this? And then, sure enough, it grows really well where I live.
Great, awesome. Okay, cool. So you've got your USP has evolved around this, and now you're focused on the 60-second sales hook. You've got a landing page you're putting up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to, and I've been going back and forth on this with different members and whether I should have a report or not, because I have a product already.
Mhm.
That whether I need to have a report or if whether or not to have a report or just go into having a list of people that would be interested in the product. Also, I already have an existing product, so I could have essentially a hook for my existing product, which would get them on a list, and then I could introduce them to the new product. And
Yeah. What is it possible to get photos with these testimonials?
Yep, I thought about that. I heard you talk about that. I think on the USP.
Yeah, it might have been a 4x6.
Yeah, where you talk about.
Always
just
good.
get
Photos. Well, I would say there's good, better, and best. Best is video because you can take a still and put a quote, and of course you still have the video there for people to watch. Next best is a photo with a quote, and then third best is just the quote.
Okay.
So look for that. Okay, so Moringa, yeah, I would say the one thing, just quickly looking through your site, we want to see a lot of more images.
Images.
Yeah, like all these are just the obvious images. You know, could be put up. You know, a nice picture of Moringa. What does it look like? You said it's a leafy green, huh?
Leafy green. Yep.
So a beautiful picture of the Moringa versus wheatgrass, and then carrots, and just people love the visuals. It's just much easier to scroll down, and it brings home, makes it more intriguing. Let's see how people are ordering here. Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, my site is pretty sterile. It's pretty. I'm that's the next play. I mean, all my traffic is on Amazon. You know, that's where all my sales come from.
Gotcha.
And now I'm looking to go outside of Amazon and build my site up totally catered to breastfeeding women, which I had originally and I changed, but now I'm going to go back, and so there's definitely a transition.
Right.
And
so are you
yeah.
going to transform this entire site to be focused on breastfeeding, or will you start a new site just for that?
I think I'm going to have this site just for breastfeeding women and
Okay.
that angle.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, the idea of having a separate site, breastfeedingwomen.com or something there's no reason why I couldn't do that too.
Yeah, that it might be, since right now this is what it is, rather than have to change all this and get rid of it. I would look to I don't know, like Moringa for Moms or something like that.
Right.
Look for a URL like that, and
Right.
That's what I'd want to see in the logo. Make sure it's mom friendly, female friendly. I mean, if we've the great thing about niching is that we get to be very specific in every aspect of the site. I'm getting a little echo, Jason. I don't know if you can turn your speaker down just a little bit.
Yeah, put on headphones. I thought maybe it happened.
That'll help. That's all right. We all look like we're landing planes here. That's the. But then you get to spend. That's better. Thank you. Yeah, then you can be ultra specific, and with colors. You have nice soft colors now, but we'll want to see pictures of moms, of happy babies. Write content about the struggles and the tribulations around breastfeeding. I can speak from personal experience when for the first 3 months, I was trying to breastfeed our son, and I didn't realize only the mom can do that, right? So that was awkward. That was really awkward.
We have lotions for that problem.
I dealt with the chafing and trying to. Now my wife, struggled, and this is a big thing. It's like there's so much anxiety around this simple act of feeding your baby, right? And it's such a huge thing for moms they dream of this moment, and the minute it doesn't go right, it's not a natural thing, right? Just the whole baby latching on thing, and they have these specialists in the hospital, these nurses who come specifically to help you. There's a lot of anxiety around this topic. So, I think you could really decide how you want to have this conversation. You could have funny stories. You could have, the real scary stories. You could have people who ultimately gave up and now suspect that was to the detriment of their child. If they'd only known it was so important to breastfeed, like all these different angles. So I could see like tons of content possibilities here. Did I lose you? It looks like we froze up or something. I could see Ross. Ross, you can still hear me, right? I don't hear you. We lost Jason. See if we can get him. And I can't hear you for some reason. I don't see the chat. What's happening in the chat? Is everybody hearing? Jason ain't showing group chat. I'm on the. Now we lost Ross. What is going on? Webinar Jam. We got to finally get rid of. We got to like move on, don't we? Hey, Wardy's here. Do you still love your software that you use? I know you'd recommended it to me a while ago. You back, Ross? You can hear me? I can't hear you for some reason. Let me just try to come back here. See if you hear me, but I don't hear you, huh? Okay. And I can't see the chat. That's weird. It just gives me like a rundown. Okay. I can see Wendy can hear getting latched. Yeah. So Wendy's saying, okay. Yeah. So Wendy had a great point about adding photos of you, working with the farmers out there, caring for the moringa, all these things that will just really set you apart as the expert in this. This is like Dave Asprey with coffee. He's just become the premier expert. Him and he's not the only one, but he shares his passion for coffee and gives a lot of interesting facts about it. And so again, it's like entering that conversation as an expert. Okay, let's see if you guys are back on here. All right, this is bizarre. I cannot see that you guys in the chat. I apologize, everybody, for these. I don't know exactly what happened. It's time to move on from Webinar Jam and Hangouts. Let me see. I think I can invite Jason. It says return as an attendee. Let me do that and then invite you again. And Ross, you're gone from the chat now as well. There we are. Looks like Jason's back. Let me do the same thing to Ross. There we go. Hopefully that'll do it. Okay. Now I see that you're popping on there, Jason, but I don't see you on camera.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yep.
Okay, cool. Let me see if my camera's unchecked, so let me see here.
Can you hear me now, Kev?
Yep, I hear you now.
Oh, Roger, Rogers.
Boom. It's the headphones. They intimidated Google.
So you guys got kicked out too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was weird. So, all right, all good. We're back. Sorry about the glitch there, everybody. Let me hop over to Jason's site again. And okay, great. So I don't know how much of that you lost, Jason, but I was just kind of saying about the great thing about niching. Did you hear all that stuff about different stories about breastfeeding and all that stuff?
I didn't, but I can go back to the recording. So
yeah, okay.
I'll let you move on.
Sure. And so it's a great photo of the family here. I would even want to see maybe some closer up so I could really see you guys. Yeah. But it's great that you guys are out there. Is there any moringa in this photo actually, or is it?
Yeah, for sure. There'll be some in the jungle.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's just go through the copy here real quick. And this is you. Okay, I love helping people stay healthy. Aesthetic supplements. So I created. Okay, so this is about you in general. Where was the page? Is one of these links on this page?
Let me put it in the chat. I didn't actually make it live. Maybe.
That's all right. If I have the copy. This is the exact copy. So I think it was the same photo, and then you had your wife's first person telling of the 60-second sales hook under there, right?
Yeah, and it was a different page than that page.
Right.
I just threw something together today because
just to have it for this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. So here's the copy that was on that page. So read through it, and then we'll go back and we'll jam on it a little bit. Is it Rasika?
That's good. You nailed it.
Yeah, good. Even though it took me 3 months to learn how to say your last name. Hi, my name is Rasika Loya. I'm a mother of two. In there, I would want to put something a little more descriptive. Happy kids, energetic kids, whatever. From here in Hawaii. 3 months after my second daughter was born, I struggled to produce enough milk for her. Right here, I want to see a little more struggle. Because the way you had it now, you went right into my husband, who was traveling in East Asia at the time, said he'd do some scouting. And so I think there's two things right there, right? Yeah, and again, Rick, write the long version first. I
Okay.
appreciate that you want to be appropriately short with it, but don't get too hung up on the first version about making it under 60 seconds and all that. Let's
Right.
get the details of the story out and then
Okay.
pick and choose from there. And so, yeah, so after your second daughter was born, now, is that to assume that with the first daughter it went fine?
That's the story. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I thought keeping it simple.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we don't need
Yeah.
to go into if that's the only struggle, then that's where it begins. That was good instinct. So there, I would look for more struggle. I'm sure you lived through it, so you know what they were. But asked Rasika, what do you remember being the most like scary and frustrating? I was mentioning when I think you were off that it's such a high anxiety thing to breastfeed for women, and when it doesn't go right, when that first latch is such a big deal. I remember my wife just being in a panic because the baby wouldn't latch, and they have these nurses on staff like just for that, lactation nurses,
Right.
and so there's so much story to be told here. It doesn't have to all come in the 60-second sales hook, but I would definitely inspire other women to come on and tell their stories, and contribute that way.
Mhm.
So would want to get more of the emotion here, because again, like that's what we're after. Making this feel as much like a community as a place to buy a product as to find a solution, right?
Mhm.
So get more struggle in here. What were the fear and frustrations that prevailed? And then this idea of you traveling in East Asia, would want to dig into that just a little bit more too. Like maybe there's a story there. Like how did it happen? When you say
Yeah,
you
we
did
actually
some
had.
scouting.
I mean, I had one before that. Cesare and Wendy and Steven really helped me with for the caffeine market. That's what I was originally going after,
Hmm.
and we had I mentioned that I discovered it in a Hindu temple, and it was a doctor outside the Hindu temple, which happened. I was visiting Hindu temples, and they grew moringa outside the temples, and that's where I kind of discovered it. And so Stephen took that and ran with it. So I was like, oh, okay, it's probably a good one. So I could go back to that and get the details in there.
Yeah, and that's good, especially in the longer copy. Again, 60-second sales hook is meant to just get people into the. You do want an opt-in there. It's not really made to make the sale. So if you have a quick video, whatever they can log in for, and you can collect an email, whether it's a quick report, 10 tips. It could even be a version of what you have on the site here, the Moringa versus other supplements and herbs and things.
Right.
Could be something as simple as that, to where they just, okay, I'll log in to see what this is,
Uh-huh.
and then
I guess
deliver it right there on the thank you page.
Right. Wow, I was thinking I guess that was my struggle with this is I was starting to write a report, and then I was thinking, well, do I need a new 60-second sales hook to sell this specific report that I was going to have, I think 10 things that'll increase your breast milk
Yeah.
report. And then I was thinking, well, do I need to have a 60-second sales hook specific for that report, since
No, I mean,
that's what I'm trying to get involved in
I mean, you just change. No, well, that's a good question, but I think you want it to be about the exact solution, right?
Uh-huh.
So I don't like necessarily the idea of creating a report just to get an email when people really would probably just go for the sale, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would want it to be Moringa specific as much as possible, and this is not a case where I would use this strictly as a list building tool. I think most people are going to roll the dice on the supplement here. How much? It's not unusually high priced or anything, right? What is the?
No, it'll be $29.99 probably to start. I mean, this one here, the one I have now is $20. Oh, that was $1. I was trying to get some attraction on that, but it'll be $19.99. The one I'm selling now, and the idea is to have this I'm doing a new one that is a little more proprietary. I've got different ingredients. We've tried different ingredients to make one that's more geared towards breastfeeding women. So that's kind of what this 60-second sales hook is for, is this new product. And
Right.
trying to build a bit of mystery around it. That's what we were working on, was not giving too much. That's the hook, right? To get them interested in intrigue, you know.
Yeah.
And because we were going back and forth. Should we even mention Moringa? Because you know it's we don't have that intrigue, so that's what we're going back and forth on.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I agree. You know, like I would keep this. So there's two separate ones. You know, there's the one you might put on the exact site, and let's see, your call to action is here. Baby's Bounty, a small VIP list. Yeah, so that's a good place for this one. Then I would make, if you want to use one just for lead gen and getting people to commit to learn more. The thing is, to me, you know, how do you know those aren't buyers, right? And sometimes you don't. There's no reason to set up points of friction if they're ready to buy. So this is a case where the best use of your report or your free information is for people who just aren't ready to buy and need to learn more. And so they can at least raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested, I'm engaged, I need to learn more about this. They're just, for whatever reason, not convinced yet or not ready. They're probably still doing research is what they're doing, right? But, you know, time is of the essence here. This is only an issue for, what, 3 months, 6 months or something? I mean, before you either move to formula, or you know, I don't know, maybe the moms can say, I don't know what the timeline would be there from like birth to I gave in and we're just doing formula now. But to me, this is, with the supplement, you obviously want to make the offer as quickly as possible, and then only use the opt-in for people, for non-buyers. Anything there on that, Ross?
No, I think you're on point there. I think like I have very experience with the supplements space. I think you have more. Like, I know one thing that would pop to my mind at least is, you know, if I am going to give this a try and I am, you know, potentially feeding my baby through this supplement, right? How safe is it?
Yeah.
That's one thing that you know, one question that I would that's jumping out to me while you're going through this, right? Like, if I'm trying something and I'm going to impulse purchase on it, which I think is what you're kind of getting to, rather than getting them onto a list and educating them why it is a good for your baby. That would be the one thing that I would be, you know, if I was a breastfeeding mother, I would be sure that I know they. From what I've heard, they can be quite curious and intensely curious about all these feeding trends and whatnot that go on, right?
Well, and what's in the stuff, right?
What's in the stuff, yeah.
And so this is one thing where this list for the specific breastfeeding site will become about, you know, Moringa versus other things that are supposed to help you increase milk, right? Whether it's a pump, another supplement, all kinds of things. That's how I position that. And I got my man Dean Edelson on the line with us here. Hey, Dean. I think it's important that 4 men try to solve the breastfeeding conundrum. And so, but Dean's had a lot. I can't hear you, Dean. We got no mic on you for some reason. Check your mic settings there. Dean's a great copywriter, and I think he's probably written for a lot of supplements, so he's had some great comments. Can we hear you now, Dean? No, can't hear you.
Are you unmuted on the options at the top there, Dean?
Maybe Wendy. I think Wendy's pretty qualified to be in on this conversation too. I'm going to see if Wendy wants to come on. We're just going to have a powwow on this. So not to get, all right, well, the Dean work out his sound there. And just to stay on the, so what we've decided so far is you definitely need two different versions to be honest, I don't even know that you'll need a 60-second sales hook just for the opt-in. I think it's one of these. It's more of a pop-up if they don't buy scenario. You know, learn more, get the report, see how Moringa compares to XX and X when it comes to increasing breast milk, that kind of thing.
As the landing page.
Yeah, and then take them over. Either they can just fill it out, add an email, name and email right in the box there, and go straight to the thank you page and get it there. I think back to
I think we can hear Dean now. Dean, give us a mic check.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Now.
Hey, Dean.
Okay. Hey, how you doing, Jason?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Cool. So, Dean, you were saying, talking about, just bringing women front and center, like on this call, and and how would you handle some of the things on the page? What would you want to see as a copywriter, front and center to bond with the prospect?
I think more than anything, for me, I'd want to probably see a really great aesthetic photo of a woman breastfeeding, because that's, not to be pornographic at all, but really, if women are searching for ways to increase their breast milk or making sure that their child is getting the nutrients, I just remember my wife's browsing habits, 16 years ago, with looking for things to make sure that our daughter was getting everything she needed for healthy growth, development, nutrition, nourishment, all of that stuff. And if your audience is new moms, and we have a friend who just had a baby November 15th, my wife was on the phone with her constantly. She was asking us so many questions. So I think you need to have, like you were saying, video is such a very powerful, it captures you immediately, just like Ross was talking about. A great USP, people are going to see a USP. They're either going to stay or they're going to abandon right away within 5 to 7 seconds. So having a photo of a mom breastfeeding her baby, or just having a bare shoulder and holding and cradling the baby in her arms, something that the woman can identify with immediately, is going to hook them.
Yeah. And
Wendy's got some great points there. I think you need to bring Wendy on when you get it.
I tried. I don't know if she's accepting or if she's getting the, but I did invite her.
But yeah, she's saying yes, a nice mummy and babe pic on a sofa at home, all happy and relaxed. She said she was a hardcore breastfeeder as well, and she said breastfeeding babies are so cute, especially on the boob.
Well, that's the thing is, it's a bit of a controversial topic too, isn't it? Every once in a while, you'll see there's reports or somebody was, bitched out for breastfeeding in public, which seems crazy to me.
But just as you're saying that, Kev, like that's a great stand to take against, right? That this company is all for that, because everyone that's coming to that site is going to be all for it. They've decided that breastfeeding is what they're going to do, and taking a stand against those people that are bitching about it, saying, "Oh, this is natural. You should be proud about doing this. It's like what humans are the way we're made to develop." So, just as you're saying that, sorry to cut across, but that just jumps out as a big potential upswing, right?
I think it's definitely a topic. I mean, it's tons of fodder there. I mean, you talk about, the passion. Here's, I don't know if we're violating some kind of Google Hangout protocol here, but I found a cool image.
And that's great for you, Jason, because it polarizes in a very natural way without being really controversial. Because women are one way or the other about it. Men and families are one way or the other about it. People who have certain faith and religious beliefs are one way or another. Who cares if the others go away? Any press, especially on this topic that you get, that's beautiful. Any press that you get, whether it's positive or negative, where people are taking a stance, it's just going to drive more traffic and interest in what you do.
Yeah, my Facebook page, it's been really easy just to constantly find new, rebel yells to breastfeeding. It's just that Facebook's flooded with them. I just share them, and I just get all these likes, and it's
awesome.
That's another reason why I went for it. I saw the controversy.
Yeah. Call it merengue madness.
I like that. Yeah, cool. The war against breastfeeding. We will win. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. All right. So that's lots to chew on there.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry. No pun intended. But you can't avoid them in this stuff. I would like to hear from Wendy. I feel.
She said that she didn't see the invite come over.
let me
Has
try
she
one more
come
time.
on a chat before? Does she know?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
do you want to re-invite her so
I
Wendy?
did,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So Wendy, look for Ross. I've never been on the other end of this, but you'll get a window popping up.
Yeah, it'll try and kick you out. It looks like it's trying to kick you out of the Hangout, and then you have to check a box at the bottom of this block of text, terms and conditions stuff, and then it'll allow you to join. And it looks like you're going to join a Google Hangout instead, but that's the way it works.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, I feel strange. I mean, 4 dudes. But this is how real marketing works. But so Jason, talk about a little bit from what does your wife say about all this? Like, is she someone who's vocal? Will she be comfortable on video and be outspoken about this sort of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it. I mean, we both took a class, a Toastmasters class, and we learned about public speaking. We both went through it, so she's comfortable, but she's really busy, and so. But I have, so potentially she's on. She could do some because I have this home studio.
Mm-hmm.
I also have some friends that are quite active. So I was thinking of doing that type of, was it that testimonial that doesn't seem like a testimonial? For what he called it, where it's the one with the big barker, that type.
Oh yeah, Ross Barring's videos. Yeah, the
Ross
hero
Barring,
videos he calls them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought of that would be something I could do with some
Absolutely,
friends.
that'd be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and so because that's originally why I got into Copy Chief, was to get a video done, a 1-minute video, and
Okay.
and so I was looking for ways to help write this video, and then I, of course, opened up a whole new avenue of copywriting that I didn't even know about, and now I'm stuck down the rabbit hole, and I've been ruined ever since.
We got you now. Now people don't come near you at dinner parties anymore.
No, I'm
I
just
can't
like
talk about marketing. I'm mentioning a Copy Chief, some weird culties in.
Right.
Cool. All right. I don't know what's happening with Wendy. I can't see the chat if she's trying. I gotta switch back here. But
So driving traffic to not necessarily a 60-second sales hook directly to a product, so it'll be almost like to a product page, or to, you're thinking, get more of the story, more of the struggle, and then have the product at the bottom of the page type of thing, where because it's an obvious kind of a red alert type product scenario.
yeah, it's something people want solved right away, right? So, I think there's kind of two. As you obviously you have your sales pages, but then you have blog pages, and everything kind of leads back to the product. But it doesn't feel like, when Pfizer sponsors an ad, and it's like, all right, this is supposed to be something I care about, but it's manufactured interest for the point of making the sale. If you can ride that balance of making, really highlighting a very real conversation, having women contribute. Everything's not a testimonial for the product. Obviously, have plenty of those, but just real conversation as much as possible, and then just make sure that the offer is obvious on every page, just with a pop under or whatever. Then and same with test engagement with the offers for the any reports you write, that kind of stuff too, as well as the straight up, get your, and then it makes it really fun and helpful to test different offers. You might have a free trial bottle, right? You definitely want to. Have you done upsells to auto ship and multiple bottles and that kind of stuff before?
No, so that's definitely a level I want to get into big time, is the upsell stuff.
Yeah, I've seen just about, I can't think of any supplement offer I've been a part of where upselling multiple bottles wasn't a winner, So the point is, if you've done your job to convince somebody this is something they need, then there's no reason they shouldn't want an ongoing supply. Now, because we're probably talking about a particular time frame here. And again, I don't know if any of the women here can tell us if it's probably what, about a year or two. I mean, you know, I've seen older kids breastfeeding. It's kind of up to the mom how long they want to keep it up, right?
A lot of it's recommended 2 years. I keep hearing from a lot of people 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. So
okay,
that's.
So, I mean, you know, I don't know if I try to sell my 2-year supply, but certainly 3 month, 6 month supply at a big discount, or at least an auto ship. Make sure you're never without this. You know, we'll send you a fresh bottle every 30 days, and if you choose auto ship. I remember one of the most effective ones I ever experienced was, you know, he was a great site to look at, is BioTrust. Joel Marion, you know, incredible marketer. He and Josh they're constantly testing and optimizing. But remember, I bought one of their shake formulas, and the offer was, how about we'll buy you this can if you go on auto ship? And I was like, I can't pass it up. It's like, you know, take this one for free, and then and then you'll have it every month. And it was like, it was a no-brainer for me. So all kinds of cool offers you can test with auto ship and multiple bottle upsells.
If you want to invite Wendy back on, I think she thought that Google was trying to kick her off instead of bring her in. So if you want to retry the invite, I think she'll be able to join this time.
How about the discovery part of the product? Like I've been getting tripped up on, you know, the discovery of how I discovered this new blend of herbs, and you know, how interesting does that need to be? You know,
I was going to ask you about that. What is the story for how you discovered it?
I mean, I discovered moringa in the Philippines, you know, and my wife took it and it increased her breast milk, but fresh, you know, and so that's the real story. But you know, I'm selling as an herb and as a supplement, and I'd like to have my formula that I've created it has other things as well that will help because of the high vitamin C count, and I wanted it to taste good. So, you know, I wanted to add in, you know, as far as the USP, you know, something unique, as a unique blend. So it's not just moringa, straight moringa. So it has something else to it to separate myself from the pack type of deal.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the heart of supplement marketing right there, right? It's like oftentimes there'll be one ingredient that's, you know, it's there and it might move the needle a little bit on people's results, but sometimes it's there just to be the fascinating story. You know, sometimes the hook is buried in one part of the formula that sometimes it becomes like a law of attrition, like who hasn't exhausted this story about this part of the formula, right? For instance, Ben and I just wrote our first Agora campaign, and it was for a male enhancement supplement. And this is one they've been selling for years. And you know, one of the products was Shilajit, which has been the main formula, the main ingredient in all these herbal remedies, ED remedies, for years. And it was like everybody from Paris Lampropoulos to Jim Punkery, and all the other greats had like told the best stories behind these exotic, you know, compounds and herbs. And so it was like the challenge was, well, they've kind of heard it all, this market, about this stuff. Of course, that's not always true, but so I guess the point there is, just get lost in research. And if you don't consider research a strong point, you could hire researchers, you know, relatively inexpensively, and just get lost and follow the stories down. You know, Ben ended up coming up some really cool stuff of like, you know, going back to, we had one angle, it wasn't Shilajit, it was one of the other, just like, you know, for instance, one of the ingredients was a grape and apple extract, right? Hey, Wendy, what's up?
Oh, hello.
Hey, we got Wendy. Awesome.
Hey, Wendy. Nice to see you.
So good. We finally have a female voice. But I'll just quickly finish up. And so we had grape and apple extract. And so what we used for that was, well, you know, those two fruits are synonymous with eroticism because, you know, that Adam and Eve, you know, the apple, and then, you know, that in any photo or you know, image you see of a harem, they'd be, you know, feeding him grapes and all this, right? And so we didn't go into deep detail with it, but we were able to find something about that part of the compound that matched. So
Right.
just that idea of going, okay, what is it about this? What in the research or what in people's minds, lends to the outcome for this part of the ingredient?
I see. Yeah, I mean, my idea was to have this because I discovered in the Philippines, that it's kind of a handed down generations
Yeah.
family secret of, because it is not that well known in America. I kind of have that going for me. That you say moringa to people that are like, what? So
Yeah.
I have the bit of a mystery there, and I feel that because I did discover in the Philippines, and it's very widely accepted as a breastfeeding supplement. And over there, a lot of the research that you see on this stuff is from the Philippines. They've kind of so having a bit of story there that's intrigue and interesting and a bit of discovery.
That's how you found it. I mean, you were in the Philippines, I take it, right? And
Yep.
The first thing that came to my mind, especially in short context of a 60-second sales hook, is like you were mentioning it to somebody that and they said, well, in the Philippines we don't have the problem because everybody just eats moringa all the time, and it naturally increases breast milk. And you're like, what?
Right.
And looked into it, and boom, I mean, there's the story.
Yeah,
That's all
right.
it needs to be sometimes,
Cool.
right?
Cool.
All right, let's hear from Wendy. Good to see you, Wendy. Thanks for coming on.
Hey,
And,
hi, Kevin.
tell us as non-breastfeeding individuals, what are we totally missing?
Well, I only intended to do it for about 6 months because that's what was suggested. But we got to the 5-month mark after a few sort of getting started issues, and I didn't actually want to stop because it feels really amazing, and you have this close, cuddly time, and also it's a guaranteed way to keep them quiet and get them to go to sleep. So
it still works to me to this day.
yeah. So yeah, it was good. I mean, I remember just sort of we were sort of feeding, and then the postman would come to the door, and you'd have to kind of remember to.
Right. Because it feels so natural. Yeah. It's just like, oh, I forgot. Sorry, there's a baby on my boob.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, cool. So, I mean, that's instantly, right, you can feel the air change in here that we have some actual perspective. And so, Jason, I think like these are the kind of stories we need on the site. And even if you could get video, women sending in their breastfeeding story in video, I mean, that stuff is just so golden for bonding. And it's cool because then beyond just selling a supplement, you're really providing a service and a place for people to come and feel better. Like my wife, I remember she's just like, oh, please, I need this solved. She was just in a panic that she couldn't make it happen, so.
Right.
When you were going through the journey initially, like, did you do any research yourself? Were you out looking for things or like what information and questions did you want solved, or things like were you looking for specific products and whatnot?
Okay, so before the birth, there was lots of time, and there was brain cells, and I was looking for galactagogues, and so things like fennel and a couple of other things were suggested, but the hardest thing was actually getting, the mouth and the angle, and when you're starting out, you're all just kind of learning, and it's really painful, and it's an unusual sensation, and so that was the hardest thing. And then I didn't think I'd have a problem making it. I was kind of just going with the flow, and I had a lactation consultant in Scotland. I've sent you the link for that, Jason, and she helped me because the beginning bit's so hard. You don't know if they're getting enough, or if the milk's, because sometimes it comes at like a pale blue color or a gray color, kind of white, and you just don't understand when to swap sides. Like they always say. And then once you get into the hang of it, you kind of just tap your breast, and one's empty or one's full, or you just stick them on. You just swap over when you feel like it, kind of thing. But so it's all those kind of, it's like learning to drive a car. There's no proper instruction manual, and you can read the instructions like 100 times, but until you've actually got the kid on the breast, you actually don't understand, and it's got to happen. You can't. I mean, maybe a video might be helpful, but written instructions, something like this, are impossible.
Right. And of course, the Scottish woman recommended whiskey, right? Just a little bit of whiskey on the nipple.
And Mars bars, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, this is great. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Jason, any final questions or anything? It seems like you got a whole lot to go on here, but I don't want to overlook anything.
Another USP, like when I was thinking about, I did the USP thing. I went through Ross's
Toolkit.
and did my chart, and I was adding them instead of multiplying them, so that was a big mistake. But I try to find, the more, what other things could I emphasize that other ones don't, and so my idea was that it's also energy, because moringa is, a lot of people use moringa, like I use moringa to increase my energy. Like if I'm feeling at all tired, I'll slam some of this stuff as well, and you just get a big jolt and it's not a caffeine jolt, So having that as well, and I have some testimonials from moms saying that they were surprised at that aspect of it. So how much to put that in without deflating the original? That's kind of the balance there. Where, okay, was this an energy drink or is this a supplement or a breast milk supplement? That's a concern that I'm having.
Yeah, and also if it's going to make you have energy, is it going to make the baby not sleep? I'd wonder that.
Yeah. Okay. Great point.
Right, and I think if you want to choose one, because what you just described, giving you an adult energy and being a great supplement for a baby, those are two separate things, two separate products. And like you said at the beginning, choose one, because you lost your audience when you started to go broad. Right. Stay specific. Right. With the, I think your Philippines story is terrific. And remember, what is it, about 5-7 years ago, when acai berry was all the rage? And if this merengue is kind of new, and you discovered this in the Philippines, you can do. Why don't you do an origin story with video, and just take some great video footage of moms breastfeeding their babies with Filipino babies, and show them being healthy, happy, smiling faces, even toddlers. Show them a little older, how happy they are running around, and you can have a voiceover doing story behind it, or text overlay, however you want to do it. But it's so new. You can, you can really leverage this and take advantage of an origin story.
Cool. I totally see what you're saying. I can totally picture that. Having this foreign land looking image, and it's just this proven thing in this other culture, and so now we're bringing it to the West. It's really
introducing it to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned, Jason, I'm not sure which thread it was in, or it might have been someone else. I just saw the message earlier today, but I think it was you were commenting on the Saddleback video, and it was giving you ideas. I think a similar style where he's like showing how the leather is made, right? Like taking Dean's story, and then like I'm not sure if you could document the process of how like the moringa is processed, and how it's all natural, and the benefits of it, and the stages it goes through to show that it's all natural, and clearly there's no need to be fearful that you're putting anything harmful into your body. I think that could be really, really interesting as well.
Yeah, and other companies who are doing merengue, you could say they're putting these additives into it. They're doing this.
Right.
The merengue you've got is pure.
Yeah, who are you for? Who are you against? What do we do? What don't we do? That's it.
I see.
You always have that list, that opposition list of, sometimes when you're coming up with your benefits, look to the first place to look is what people don't want, and then see how you have that, and then plus one, right? So
I have to add this as well, because John Belkowitz dropped a nugget of gold in the chat. So he said choose one, right? Educate them on the other stuff in the email follow-up sequence. So show them the benefit of taking moringa beyond the breastfeeding period there. So after 2 years they might be finished using it for breastfeeding, but oh, by the way, did you know that moringa is not just for breastfeeding, it also gives you great energy, and now that you have a 2-3-year-old toddler running around that you need to keep up with.
I see.
Fantastic.
Right. So keep it focused on one, and emphasize the one, and then have the follow-up of all the other benefits as a drip. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I would stick that in your back pocket for now and
Right,
just focus on getting the first part done. But
That's what I need. Focus.
Yeah, but
It's a huge audience. We're constantly populating the world. We can't stop copulating. So
We're addicted. All right, great stuff, guys. I'm gonna end it here for time's sake. Lots of cool stuff. We'll carry on in the comments. So thank you, Jason.
No, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. It's a world of difference. Thanks so much.
Good. Yeah. Well, thanks for being an active member and using Copy Chief for all it's worth, which is this right here.
Cool.
You came back to your money niche, your niche, and now we're getting the ads worked out and the angles, and that was a nugget of gold from John. It's like the more you can talk about the benefits without interrupting the appeal, then you have an ongoing customer far beyond just this immediate focus and
I
need.
see.
So
Right.
great stuff.
Right.
Cool. All right, guys. I say let's wrap this one up. Fantastic. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Dean. Thanks everybody who weighed in the comments and for being here. We'll do it again next week. Don't give up on 2015, man. We got 3 more weeks. Whatever you're doing, get it done. Set goals for yourself and book a hot seat. Let's see you here next week. Yay! Nobody writes alone. Nobody writes alone. Let's see you here. I want to see someone new in the hot seat next week, and let's jam just like this. You see the value of it, so take advantage of it. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
bye, guys.
See you next time.
Bye.